a formidable challenge against the Wigan Warriors. Here's the match referee, Phil Bentham. He's about ready. He must have, he must have been slightly worried when the lights went out 5 minutes ago. But now everything's back up and running, and we're just about ready to go.
All right, we're ready.
Bitterly cold evening here in West Yorkshire. Phil Bentham looks like he's ready to go. Blows the whistle. Paul Sykes with the boot. This game is up and running, and nasty bounce, but Sam Tompkins doing really well.
Well, I think you can see straight away that the Bradford pack, they really want to get into this Wigan outfit, get right into their faces, trying to put them off their stride. They arrive here to Wigan, slight favourites. Isn't often you can say that any team comes to Oxford, but you have to give them the credit. They've been playing out of their skin. Michael Maguire has got everything going. But I think Stuart Duffy absolutely summed it up right by saying that if the Bradford forwards can lay the platform, the likes of Carney and Orford will take control.
Okay, 10 lads, 10.
Wigan do arrive here as a team at the form, Eddie, but I tell you what, if you had to pick two props for England after 4 games, you'd pick Andy Lynch and Nick Scruton. They've been sensational for Bradford, really have been strong, and just watch particularly when Nick Scruton gets the ball, the canny ability to put himself between 2 defenders. It actually resulted in the first try for Bradford last time we're here. Sometimes he just helps his teammate get a quicker play of the ball.
Stuart Reardon plays the ball. He was full-back and man of the match and scored a try in the 2003 grand final for Bradford against the Wigan Warriors. And Lynch was the man who played the ball there. The skipper to Heath Lestrange. That's a big hit by Andy Coley, who's also another prop forward in pretty good form at the start of this season. Here's Brett Carney. Tompkins, that Sam Tompkins was after him. Harrison Hansen got to him. Last tackle here for Bradford. Kick from Lestrange right down the middle. And this will be picked up by Amos Roberts.
Great pressure there by the Wigan defence. It really didn't turn out to be a very good kick from the hooker, Lestrange.
Good tackling though there, Steve McNamara, the Bradford Bulls coach. And we saw Michael Maguire watching from behind the posts away to our right-hand side just a few minutes ago.
It does look, if you take a look at the flags above the stand, that Wigan do have the wind behind them in this first half. Obviously it helps when they're kicking the ball. Sometimes those passes actually drift forward, and it can be a detriment to the side if they want to shift it around.
Stuart Fielden brought to ground. 6 grand finals in 7 seasons in his time here with Bradford. Sam Tompkins hoists the kick. That's got the wind behind it. Well, Pat Richards is after it. The ball has hit the deck. It went backwards again, and Wigan have come up with the possession. Roberts was the first man to react, and here is Harrison Hansen driving it in now for the Wigan Warriors.
Well, it's no surprise that Michael Maguire, the Wigan coach, and they've got him for offside. Now then, will they take the easy 2? I think they might.
Well, with a man like Pat Richards in the side, they possibly will.
No, they're going
to tap it and run it. And here goes Coley.
Just saying, Eddie, it's not surprising that Michael Maguire would have told his players, you've got to kick to this youngster Jason Crooks out there on the wing.
Thomas Luluai fires the pass to Roberts. It goes wide, and that's a great try for Darryl Goulding. And Wigan are up and running. The mistake over on the far side, they got away with that, but then they surrendered possession. Then they were caught offside under the sticks, and Wigan working the ball from left to right very quickly. And Darryl Goulding will try in each of his last 2 as well, as he fills in for Roberts on the wing, as Roberts drops back to take over from Cameron Phelps, who's still out injured. And Darryl Goulding, who celebrated his 22nd birthday on Wednesday, gets his 3rd try of the year.
Came about from that mistake. It was a beautiful kick by Sam Tompkins, but look how they've sucked in Reardon. Reardon just drifts in off the whitewash and says thank you very much indeed. Goulding, it is a gift. Is he happy? He sure is. It's all about looking at the videotapes and looking through and finding out if there's a chink in the opposition armour. And they were all over the shop when Sam Tompkins put the kick into the corner. They couldn't get hold of it, the Bulls, and the Warriors have taken full advantage.
They have Goulding's try, and now Pat Richards, 21 goals for the season. He kicked 9 from 10 attempts last week against the Catalan Dragons, and the one he missed, he hit the post. That is all. So here comes Richards to try and add the extras. Wing at his back, remember. Trying to drift it over the top of the bar, but just the wrong side of the post on that occasion. But Wigan are ahead by 4 points to 0.
It's all about just sucking in the defence. Look how radiant, they're very tight. There's nobody sliding there. Nero should have pushed out, and so should the winger.
Well, Eddie, this just goes to show what Brian Noble made reference to before the match. Wigan are starting games particularly well this year, scoring in that first 10-minute period. Obviously helps put the confidence if you go ahead on the scoreboard.
Yes, so Bradford restart again. Sykes with a deep kick-off into the very stiff breeze that's blowing in their faces. And here comes Fielden, but he's met by Scruton, he's met by Lynch, and he's met by Menzies. And Coley again will drive it in for Wigan. The Bradford Bulls winning 7-0 at Salford last Friday, the first time they had kept the opposition on a 0 since October 2005, when they beat Hull 71-0 in a playoff tie here. The Bradford Bulls are buoyant again coming into this match, but this is without doubt a big test of their ambition here this evening. Luluai, good scooting run from dummy half.
It's a great advantage, isn't it? You've got the likes of Tompkins taking first receiver, and then Luluai dipping in, playing as a hooker more than not.
Picked up by Dave Halley. Halley, who was on loan at Wakefield this time last year, but he has played 27 of 28 since he returned from Wakefield. And looked like he got a bit of a bang on the nose in that drive as he returned the ball. Here is Langley now for Bradford.
And the Bulls are finding it difficult to get over the advantage line. And again, we see messing around with the play of the ball, which can be a bit of a blight in our game. But Mr. Bentham says carry on.
Orford flicked the pass to Scruton. That ball went backwards,
back to 6.
and it is back to 6. The referee saw it. Probably a shout from his touch judge on this near side as well. There was Wigan hand in there. So here's an opportunity for Bradford with Langley.
There you see it.
Heath Lestrange is the dummy half. Orford on his inside is his captain Lynch. Gets a great ball away. Oh, and that was picked out of the air by Martin Gleeson.
Boy, did Gleeson read that well.
It was Dave Halley who was looking to offload.
He could see that the full-back was twisted in the body, eager to get rid. Look. Oh, that is sensational by Gleeson.
Riddell, there's Gleeson. Riddell was the man who played the ball to Roberts. Good leg drive from Roberts. 4 tackles gone though, they're still inside their own half, the Wigan Warriors. Roberts will get them over halfway here. On the bounce it finds itself to Tompkins, who's very strong in the tackle. Hit by Langley, the third man in. Luluai, angled crossfield kick.
Great kick as well. This will just bobble in the inside.
Now how good's the chase? Pretty
not
good.
Bad. Yeah, not bad.
Gleeson with the tackle on Jason Crooks. Gleeson hurt, I think, in that tackle. No, he's making his way back into the defensive line now. This is Elliot Whitehead for Bradford. Oh, Joel Tompkins, the unsung hero of the Wigan 100% start to the season. Here is a penalty going Bradford's way.
That's a little bit too aggressive by Andy Coley. Well, that didn't...
I think it's for his ball steal, Steve.
Yeah, it's taking the ball away from him, yeah. And Sykes was quite happy to release it as well, realising there was more than one man there. Now then, the Bulls, they have to just try and camp down. In the opposition half, they really haven't had much opportunity.
Scruton running strongly, started the match just as he was against Castleford a couple of weeks ago. Here's another penalty for Bradford. Hands in at the play the ball, interference. 2 penalties in quick succession. Here comes Andy Lynch again.
First, move, and hold, go.
Lestrange waits again. Scruton drives it in.
2, move, wait.
Lestrange again waits. They're 18 minutes away from the line. Good ball then to Nero from Orford. 3 tackles gone, half the set of 6 remaining as Lestrange finds Orford again, attacking the line. Good ball inside, it's Scruton, trying to get the hands free and offload, can't do so. They're inching ever closer to the Wigan line though, and here is Carney, and Carney will stab it through to the in-goal area. Roberts is there to tidy up, Roberts is trapped in goal.
Crafty kick and a great chase, put the pressure on, that's what they needed. Steve McNamara will be quite happy with that first opportunity, and they will get a second set of 6 drop out underneath the sticks.
All we would have expected, Brian.
Oh, it's an absolutely fabulous start for both teams. Wigan looked vigorous in the tackle early on the back of a couple of penalties. Bradford have got some field position and don't look disorganised themselves, do they? They look very, very threatening.
Drop out with Wynne behind to 10 metres inside the Bradford half, a full 60 metres downfield. Priceless kicker, isn't he, Pat Richards?
Here's a great advantage, isn't it?
4 apiece at Harlequins, at Leeds.
Move! Wait! Go!
This now is Carney. Flicks the ball out the back to Menzies. Great offload from Menzies. Oh, and almost an interception from Goulding. In fact, Goulding has got the ball back. He won the arm wrestle then with Chris Nero.
Well, it's always a gamble when you come out of your defensive line, and that gamble paid off.
Riddell, infield it goes. Coley.
Move! Got you, Andy. Got you, I know what you mean.
Well, McNamara will be furious about that. They were in a good position, they were applying the pressure on, and came very close. That's another advantage that he has. He knows that Matt Orford can organise things out there, but he knows that Brett Carney got a wonderful short kicking game.
Gleeson, good on his feet. Gleeson just can't get the ball away. Luluai was in support. Last tackle here for Wigan. It's with Luluai now, and the kick hit the Bradford man, bounces nicely for Reardon, and Reardon will straighten it up. Tompkins has hold of his ankles.
Could have been classed as a charge down if he'd gone forward, but he didn't. Ricocheted to the left.
Here's Menzies. Goes down. Hull are leading Castleford 6-0. Here it's 4-0 Wigan. We're coming up to the 12th minute here. Early scare, in case you were not with us when the lights all went out just before kick-off, but they worked a miracle. And the Bradford ground staff need a big pat on the back that they got the lights back up and running again.
Well, the one feature for Wigan that we've seen so far is that not the silky skills of Sam Tompkins. We got a good kick in early, but it's defensive quality. He's working overtime in that department.
Carney's kick downfield is fielded by Amos Roberts.
Hold. Go. On the mark, Amos, on the mark. Second.
Darryl Goulding,
Move.
another man back at Wigan after a loan spell. He was on loan to Salford last year, played 9 matches for the City Reds and got 5 tries in the period at the Willows. This is Luluai waiting at dummy half. It was Riddell who played the ball to him. This is George Carman. They go wide, and here goes Pat Richards. And Richards fancies taking on Halley on his own, gets the ball away, and Tompkins. Well, he had a slash at the ball as well with the boot because he put it down, because he knew that had he taken that in, he would have been over the line for all money.
Should have been a try. It's as simple as that. Richards, and again we see the balls, they're caught out. That sliding defence is not moving across quick enough.
Was that the time, Brian, when he needed a two-handed pass?
He probably did, and it was a little bit low for Sam Tompkins to take cleanly there, and he's furious with himself. I'm sure his coach will remind him that he probably should have dropped on the ball, because if that plays on and Halley goes the length of the field, he could have been embarrassed. But he's so frustrated. He's such a great competitor that he wanted that in his hands so he could get on the sticks.
Well, they've scored 28 tries to date, Wigan, and Sam Tompkins hasn't scored one of them yet. He has, Joel Tompkins.
Well, maybe because Pat Richards scored 5 last week, he backed himself that much. He thought, I can actually round this fullback. I'm flying at the moment. Kick to touch has failed to find touch. And Wigan now return it already with Pat Richards over the halfway line.
There's an attempted ball steal then on Pat Richards by Matt Orford. Richards held the ball firmly, but that was an error from Bradford. A real error that they didn't find touch. I suppose we can blame the wind because the wind is very strong in their faces. Here's another penalty now. That's the 5th penalty from the whistle of Phil Bentham. The 2nd for Wigan.
Well, it's pretty obvious that they're just mauling him, putting him, trying to turn him over.
Do you think, Brian, that the wind is ever like an 8 or a 10-point advantage, or do you not just subscribe to that theory?
I think if you subscribe to it as a coach and a player, you might think that yourself. You might mention that at half-time if you think you've got the favour in the second half. But to go out there and suggest to somebody you might be 8 or 10 points down because of the wind, I think it sends the wrong message. But we all think it, don't get me wrong.
Hansen plays the ball here to Riddell, who finds Sam Tompkins. He flicks it up to Eamon O'Carroll, just on the field for Andy Coley.
Now the Bradford defence have gone one-on-one marking. They've been caught out twice with the long ball.
This is Luluwai. And Riddell in at dummy half. 3 tackles remaining this set of 6 for Wigan. Tompkins to Roberts. Roberts bounces off one, comes back the other way. Ball held in one hand and Gleeson goes without it.
Well, these could come back to haunt Wigan.
Well, it did for Castleford, didn't it, last week against Hull KR?
It's an old saying, but you've got to take your chances, and that ball has been either stolen or knocked on. Either way, looks like Carney's got away.
It is Carney. He gets them to halfway on the first tackle. This is a great chance here. Oh, that could easily have been a penalty. And it might go back for the penalty, will it?
No, he's allowed play on as Phil Bentham. And he's going to give the crowd don't like that.
Well, head and feed to Wigan, but
well, it touches a Wigan player, doesn't it?
No,
or
but
does it?
It's an obstruction, definitely, and that obviously meant that the Bradford players just took their eye off the ball for a second.
Well, it's a difficult one, but I would have given a penalty for that because you're interfering with an attacking side.
Hold there.
The way Wigan will not be complaining because they've been a little bit butterfingers at the moment.
Gleeson, that's a good fend. They're still butterfingers. That was Darryl Goulding.
Well, we've admired the way that Michael Maguire, the new coach, has brought quick hands to this Wigan outfit, but there are times when you don't have to score on every single play. A bit of method in their madness, perhaps. Slow it down a little bit. Good work, grasping at it. It's all nerves.
Elliot Whitehead to the rescue for Bradford. They're in possession now with Jamie Langley.
And Langley has been strong, Eddie, in the games I've seen for Bradford. He's particularly carrying the ball. He's strong in defence. He's given them good value as a forward.
That was a good hit from Fielden and company on Nick Scruton. Lestrange, Langley again. Is wrestled to the ground on tackle number 5. Expect the kick here from Orford. It's with him. Up it goes. He's able to give that a bit of humph because he's against the wind, but Roberts collects it easily.
Oh, Bradford really have not got themselves set up. Tompkins is on his way.
Quick restart. Oh, the ball's come away. Unfairly, says the referee. Penalty to Wigan.
This is in as well.
Interesting. Elliot Whitehead came out of the position and got the ball, but Bentham very, very quick. It looked one-on-one to me, but
Just joined in. Go.
I think I just heard him say to a Bradford player, he just joined in.
Hold.
Riddell waits at dummy half for Wigan in all black tonight, with Fielden now in possession.
Stand up. 2. Go.
A la the World Club Challenge. That was Heath Lestrange and Nick Scruton looking over their shoulder, waiting for Phil Bentham to shout, release, get up.
Move. Hold. Go.
This is Riddell again. Now it's with Luluwai. Good ball then to Joel Tompkins.
well spotted there by Orford. Realised it was going to be a delayed pass.
That could have been a penalty for obstruction, could it? No. Tompkins hoists the kick wide. Flick down. And Carmont hits the post.
Lost possession as well. And again, putting a lot of pressure on Jason Crooks here. Richard's such a tall man.
He's one of the best catchers of the ball, isn't he? And Carmont has got a problem by the looks of things.
Listen to the calls, lads.
There's a big sponge cover round the post. Well, he's obviously done something there. But hammered as well by the defender.
I think the impact, just a knee right in the corner.
Lynch, that's a good offload to Halley. And they will now come down the right channel with Carney. He finds Menzies. Menzies a little flick out the back door. Well, they're all trying to score on every play, aren't they?
Yeah, it's attention that's getting to him. It is a very big game, this. Always is Bradford and Wigan, and I've got him put offside. Bill Bentham was screaming at them, but they were so eager to get into it. Brett Carney leading the way. There you see Menzies trying to offload. Well, there'll be plenty to be said. It looks like Carmont is at to see if he can run it out. He's on that outside. They've got him off the...
Yeah, Carmont straight off the field, and Phil Bailey has gone on this place, and it's obviously as a result of challenging for that kick a moment ago, and Carmont landed awkwardly. Not only did he land awkwardly, he landed with about 3 Bulls players on top of him, and consequently he's not too clever, but he is moving a little more easily as he jogs around the edge of the pitch, so maybe he will be back.
No doubt you'll keep an eye on that for us, Bill. Here is Luluai. Back it comes now to Bailey, just on, first touch, replacing George Carmont. Midway through this first half, we're going to head 4-0, looking for more here with Tompkins. Flat pass, well watched. Good tackle that by Carney. No way through then for Joel Tompkins. Luluai finds a Lachlan, he helps it on. Was it forward? Yes.
Well, I think Mr. McNamara and Mr. Maguire may just have a few words sent out and say, listen, it's not an exhibition game. We have a plan, and I'm afraid neither side is sticking to it. The one thing that Steve McNamara will be pleased about is he's got the message out. Remember, 2 opportunities where they're being caught out on that long ball out wide.
Do you think the coach has forgot his coat?
Well, he's forgotten his cap, hasn't he? That's for sure. Or his hat. Unlike a couple of my colleagues up here in the gantry, Mr. Noble and I are bareheaded. Incidentally, we're brave.
Well, you've got hair.
Well, so is Mr. Clark, but...
Yeah, but I'm soft.
You certainly feel the cold, Phil, I do know that. Terrible cold feet. Here come Bradford.
Good tackle.
Yeah, great defence. They're up in the tempo in that department. It's and to be fair, you've mentioned the cold, Eddie. It won't be doing those players any good out there. It's bitterly cold.
Go. Jamie, try to stay on the mark.
Carney
Play on.
is played at by Goulding, so the call from the referee is now play on.
First. Move.
Much better kick and chase.
Go.
Well, can they hold it?
Well, they're trying to get in the face of the Wigan Warriors, but Richards nearly slipped the net then. Heath Lestrange importantly kept hold of the jersey. This is Harrison Hansen.
Third. Move. Hold balls, hold. Go.
Riddell and Luluai. Oh, well picked up that pass was.
Oh, Menzies had him lined up though.
It was Roberts who was fed by O'Carroll. Here goes Phil Bailey. He gets to halfway on the last. Luluai and O'Loughlin. Height and the wind behind it. Halley claims it for the Bradford Bulls. O'Loughlin got to him first. Sam Tompkins finished him off.
Looked a little bit lost there, Wigan. Sean O'Loughlin wasn't really intended to get that ball, to get the kick away. They just lack of communication between the players. Wasn't the best kick either.
This is Chris Nero now for Bradford. 3rd season here, the former Huddersfield man. You'll see his former team, of course, tomorrow. Huddersfield Giants make a trip to Wakefield, live on Sky Sports tomorrow evening. 5:30 we're with you. Sky Sports HD2 and in standard definition on Sky Sports 2 as well. Then Hall plays the ball. Orford kicks the ball deep downfield, but Richards was, Roberts rather, was there, positioned perfectly, and he's through. The first 3, 4, 5 defenders. It's great footwork from him. Halley can't stop him either. Well, this, I was going to say, if he got over the line, that would have been the try of the season, the try of the decade, maybe. A weaving run. Luluai.
Wigan went the wrong way. They were really caught out wide with the balls on that their right-hand side. Wigan's left as they attack.
They're going that way now with Sam Tompkins. He brings it back up the middle. Tompkins gets the ball away, and it's Harrison Hansen. And Harrison Hansen gets the second Wigan try, with screams of forward from the Bradford terraces, but applause from the Wigan supporters. Harrison Hansen, he missed last week. Remember that last-minute clout he got of Adrian Morley in the match against Wigan 2 weeks ago. That took its toll on him. He missed last week. He's come back this week, and he has grabbed himself the second Wigan try of the night here. But it's all down to Roberts' run.
Certainly was superb. It wasn't the best kick, as we mentioned, and that is poor defence. They just let him through, and as Eddie mentioned, if it had gone in for this, it would have been the try of the decade. It was unbelievable running. They come back in the end. Reardon was the man, but watch, the first time Sam Tompkins has asked the question of the Bulls' defence. Was it slightly forward? It's hard to say from this angle. Hansen takes it with glee. Throughout this game, this youngster has just been quite happy to feed it out wide. He takes the step for the very first time, catches the Bulls' defence yet again.
It's his 149th Wigan appearance.
Time off.
And it's a try for Harrison Hansen. It's 8-0 to Wigan, and this kick will make it double figures if it goes over.
Well, do you know what? There are very few players who can change direction and accelerate at the same time. Jonathan Davis is one who springs to mind, the legend in both Rugby League and Rugby Union. And Sam Tompkins has that ability, and it's a unique skill, and he does it particularly well.
And Pat Richards can kick a goal or two, can't he? Missed with the first from way out wide, but bang on target there.
Look at this, his eyes are looking that way, but he knows he's going to step and get the body away. That's a sign of a very talented rugby league player. Not so sure about the pass. We'll see it from a different angle. Is it? And it's forward. Not much in it, but I'd have to say Wigan have had the benefit of the doubt on that occasion. They won't be complaining though. It was sheer skill, wasn't it, from young Sam Tompkins?
It was, and Wigan are ahead. Remember, these two met at Old Trafford 2001, 2003 in the grand finals of those years. Bradford won them both. Under our guest tonight, Mr. Brian Noble. Great memories. 5 in a row, wasn't it?
5 finals in a row.
Luluai for Wigan, who we got to within 80 minutes of Old Trafford 3 times.
With Wigan, yeah, couldn't quite get them there. They're looking pretty strong this year, but 24 rounds to go, 23 rounds to go. There's a lot of mileage, a lot of stories to be written yet.
All on that side.
And Tompkins hoists that high. Halley is after this. Halley claims it. Oh! And he was clattered by Harrison Hansen.
It's been one of the good features this year from Wigan. Their kick and chase has been superb, and you'll notice as well that quite a few of the Wigan forwards, they're not attempting to grasp with the arms, they're just going in with the shoulder. It's a real big shoulder charge, and if they get it right, boy, it can hurt the opposition.
This is Michael Warrancy now for Bradford.
Well, he'll want to make up for that error. Remember, he was stepped around by the full-back Amos Roberts, should I say, when he made that beautiful run. It was Warrancy that went up quickly, just stepped him with ease.
This is a possible 40-20, but didn't quite get the angle right then, Matt Orford. So Amos Roberts can run it back again. This time the white jerseys are there in numbers to make sure there's no repeat of the run. They've never won 6 in a row at the start of a Super League season, Wigan. They've won 5 in a row a couple of times. And last year they actually won 5 in a row last year, but it was mid-season, and included in that run was a 20 points to 14 success on this ground here against the Bradford Bulls.
Well, the other thing that surprises me, that Steve McNamara, the Bulls coach, why they are insisting on kicking the ball directly to Amos Roberts. He's got skill, he's got speed.
This is Tompkins, gets it away to brother Joel Tompkins. And that's the last tackle for Wigan, the 20 metres away. And O'Loughlin decides to run it. Joel Tompkins again. He gets the ball away to Richards. Richards will hoist the kick into centre field. Roberts is after this. The ball's gone backwards, and it is eventually shuttled over the line by Orford. It's a goal line dropout.
Well, what a wonderful move on that short blind side. They went for the power play, whether they had someone ready to get away the kick, but it came to Richards. Now, who did it come off? Definitely Orford touches it last, but did Roberts get a touch to it first?
Well, he might have done if he did it went backwards.
And then it's dragged forwards, I think, on his second time he touches it.
That might have been Reardon. We couldn't see from that, could we?
By the way, it looked as though there was a little knock on there.
Well, he wasn't happy about the decision, Matt Orford. He did question it with Phil Bentham. So it's a goal line dropout for Bradford. Leeds hit the front against Harlequins, 10-4 at Headingley. Coming back after their World Club disappointment last week, the Rhinos. And Hull are beating Castleford 12-6. But the Tigers putting up a decent fist of it up there in East Yorkshire. Here in West Yorkshire, it's Palliasina with a drive forward for the Wigan Warriors. Riddell is the dummy half, and he gives it to Lulawai. Lulawai goes on his own. Warrancy had hold of him. Good job that he did as well. Bailey waits the dummy half for Wigan, 5 metres from the line, and he finds O'Loughlin. Short ball to Harrison Hansen, bounced off one, finished off by Andy Lynch. This is Riddell. Here's Palliasina. Last tackle for Wigan. Catalan fighting back at Salford. They were 6-0 up at one stage. O'Loughlin over the top. Oh, forward pass. It's a forward pass.
What a juggling act from Pat Richards. Well, yeah, it was forward.
Okay, mate.
Only just. You had to reach for it. Great stuff. Wonderful handling. Wow.
It would have been a try had it not been a forward pass. And did the wind play a part there, Phil, do you think?
I think it did, yeah. I mean, I've seen Sean O'Loughlin in the last couple of weeks, possibly the best passer in Super League. In fact, as a forward anyway, some of the passes he came up with both to his right and to his left last week against Catalan were world class, and he very often can deliver that one. I think the wind just fractionally took it forward.
Palliasina, meanwhile, is penalised for not standing square.
You know, a potential game-turning moment here. I think if Wigan score again here, it becomes very hard. He just taps it forward, it maybe have already drifted. Would have been very hard for Bradford to come back from that. As it did, they've been under pressure for 5 minutes with some quality play from Wigan. Here now, they're up over the halfway line. They've had very few sets in possession, which they've started in Wigan's half of the field. Their best chance of posting some points.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Phil, in regards that we have not seen any combination between the two halves, Brett Carney and Matt Orford. And that's mainly brought about by the fact that they haven't had much opposition, getting into the opposition and applying that pressure. Maybe it could change now. Will they link now?
This is Craig Kopjak making his 50th appearance as a substitute. His 54th in all for the Bradford Bulls. That's a good run from Godwin. His 180th career appearance, Wayne Godwin. Here is Nero. Wigan now having to defend their line. They have the best attack in Super League, and they also have the best defence in Super League. It's being tested at this moment. Orford's long pass finds Carney. No way through for Carney then. Catalan hit the front at Salford. Here goes Sykes, and that's claimed in goal by Amos Roberts. Diffuses the trouble. Straight down to Bill. Come on, what's the news, Bill?
Eddie, it's good news from the Wigan Warriors camp because George Carman is back out of the dressing room. He's just actually having a run up and down the sideline at the moment, and he's got the right knee heavily strapped. And what in fact happened was I think it was a stud that caught him, but it's a nasty gash right on the knee. It caused him a lot of pain, but he's strapped up, and they're hopeful that he's going to be able to come back. That's happened in there somewhere, and he came out that with the gash on his knee, but he's up and warming up on the sideline. Just a brief word from the sidelines. The call to the Wigan Warriors has been patience. Just a feeling maybe that they're forcing the pass, expecting to score on every play now.
Here's Tompkins with a kick to the air, and it's caught by Richards. And it's the turnover because the ball came free from Pat Richards.
And again, they're applying that pressure to Jason Crooks. It's all crafty work. You know exactly what they need.
If you look at what Wigan did in the last minute, there was nothing complex. It was simple runs, but every player made over 10 metres when he carried the ball. Now you can probably contrast that with Bradford. This isn't the win that's making a difference. Clearly, this sport at times is about simply running hard and strong, and Wigan are doing that better. In fact, defensively, here you see the total metres gained. Wigan just massively ahead in that field, and it does add up at the end of the game. Very rarely do you see a side with such territorial advantage lose a match.
Well, if they go on to win this, it will be their best start to a season for 10 years. The last time they won 5 in a row at the start, the turn of the century. The last time they were in the position they're in now, it was 2001. Both those years under Frank Endicott. Happy Frank. It made him very happy too. 5 minutes or thereabouts to half-time. Wigan 10-0 to the good here, and applying the pressure with Harris and Hansen.
And again, the difference between the two sides is that the Warriors are getting over the halfway line, so therefore when they do go down to the kick, they're applying that pressure, and they're always on the back foot of the Bulls, and they're in a little bit of trouble here now.
O'Loughlin hangs on to the ball somehow. He's got Tompkins, and Tompkins gets his first try of the season after so long, and having to watch as his teammates have been running them in for fun recently. But Sam Tompkins comes up with the try. It was a punishing run from Palliasina that actually had Bradford on the back foot, and then they just injected a little bit of pace into it with O'Loughlin and Tompkins, the two men you just saw on your screen there. And Sam Tompkins, the young player of the year, another off the Wigan St Pat's production line in the amateur game. Sam Tompkins, latest try for him. Look at that run from Palliasina. That's what got them on the back foot.
Now then, has he committed an error there, or should I say an offence? Because I thought you had to regain your feet before you had to put the ball down on the ground. Take nothing away from Sean O'Loughlin being able to set up the youngster Sam Tompkins. But look at this. I thought you had to regain your feet, but he's been held back by Steve Menzies, and probably that's the reason why Phil Bentham said, get on with it. I could have penalised you either way. Beautiful pass back on the inside, Emmis Roberts. O'Loughlin, this youngster does read the game ever so well.
And Richards adds the extras, and Wigan are ahead by 16 points to 0 here at Odsal, the Grattan Stadium. Is it a match-winning lead, this?
Well, Emmis Roberts getting out of there. They've gone straight down the middle of the field, haven't they? Even a minute or two previously, Wigan made 50+ metres with 5 carries, and they've just penetrated down the heart of the Bradford Bulls, who can't live with it at the moment. The ferocity and intensity with which Wigan have played the first half has been just too much for Bradford to cope with.
Yes, Wigan looking a bit impressive, Brian, aren't they?
They're looking fabulous, aren't they? I'm just reinforcing what Phil said. They're just running with vigour. You can see the metres that they make and the ground that they're winning. When they're playing the ball quicker than Bradford, when they're leaving play, white shirts on the ground, they're taking the opportunity to run out of dummy half with Daryl Goulding, with Gleeson, with Thomas Luluwai, with Sam Tompkins, and Mark Riddell's smart enough to recognise that when you run and when you just shift to a sideline.
Fielden to his feet, plays it to Riddell, going down the short side with Hansen. And Tompkins has slipped the net again. That was an important ankle tap by Steve Menzies. That's a penalty.
Well, Wayne Godwin was all over him. Menzies just got the fingertip. Just there. Then Hall and Godwin all over the place.
Well, Bradford trying to slow Wigan down as best they can. And here is Tompkins. Now it's with Andy Coley.
Watch for the switch to the blind. Will they do it yet again?
They're going that way with Sam Tompkins. And Tompkins takes the return. Here is Joel Tompkins. Now it's Pat Richards. And Pat Richards stretches out and scores. That's an incredible effort from Pat Richards. The referee is just going to ask the video referee, James Child, tonight to check whether Pat Richards had a foot in touch as he touched down here.
Boy, get out of the way. We knew he was going to get a lot of pressure, Jason Crooks, from the bomb. But this is try time. There's not many people in rugby league can do that. and he's tall enough to make sure that that's a try. He's in fine form, 5 tries last week.
And 8 for the season if this is given the green light, which it is. Pat Richards is Super League top scorer at the moment. His 8th try of the campaign. And Wigan increased the lead right on the stroke of half-time, courtesy of Pat Richards, who has scored in each of the last 29 games now. 38 points last week, 5 tries, 9 goals. He's at it again here.
And it's a confidence in it to do the run around like that. Sensational. Daryl Goulding, final pass. It was really, really well worked. Look at the run around there with Harrison Hansen. And Jason Crooks just could not stop him. He was just put on his backside. And the height of this winger, Pat Richards. Somebody once said a few years ago, Eddie, that all he does was kick goals.
I think that was you, wasn't it?
Nope.
No? Well, he's going to try and kick this goal now. He got 38 points last week, as I say. He's 4 points short a week ago of Justin Harris's all-time Super League points haul of 42. And Richards has missed with that particular kick. But the Wigan Warriors, they've run in 4 tries. Richards has converted 2 of them, and they lead 20-0.
And fully deserved as well, taking the option on that blind side, but knowing that they were going to produce a move. That was not off the cuff. That was a run around, beautifully worked by Sam Tompkins and Harrison Hansen, and boy, does it pay off.
Well, very rarely do you see Harrison Hansen pass the ball. It's even less rare to see him involved in a run around a play like that, and obviously his confidence has increased this season. He's felt inspired, and he's really lifted, hasn't he, to the next level at the moment. He and Joel Tompkins, a fantastic young combination in the second row for Wigan.
Coley will play the ball here, and Fielden will try and run it out against his former club. Haven't seen Paul Deacon yet, have we, in this Wigan side in the first half? Still sitting on the bench, the Bradford Bulls legend. Here's Fielden again, up the middle he goes. There's the half-time siren. That will do. There is Deacon, making his way in for a half-time cup of tea, warm up a bit. Pat Richards, and he's kicked 2 goals and he's scored that fantastic try. Just snaked the arm out and plonked it over the line, right on the stroke of half-time. And the Bradford Bulls, well, they kept Salford scoreless last week. Tonight at half-time, they have the big fat 0 against their name. Wigan lead by 20 points to 0, and it's a game and a half since they conceded a point. Well, at the halfway stage of this match between the Bradford Bulls and the Wigan Warriors at the Grattan Stadium, Odsal, and Wigan ahead by 20 points to 0 as they prepare to get the second half underway here. Harrison Hansen has been excellent in a very, very good Wigan side in that first half. And with that wind blowing, as I said during the half-time analysis, they are blowing the Bradford Bulls off the park. But what does the next 40 minutes have in store for us? Well, as you can see, that kick-off from Richards, although it bounces, and there were 3 players there who didn't really look very interested in taking it up, the wind is in their faces in this second half.
Stay on the mark, Craig.
Here is Glenn Hall for Bradford.
Well, I'm sure that Steve McNamara will be hoping that the kicking game is an improvement on what they did in the first 40. Okay, it wasn't into that pretty strong wind, but they got to utilise it to the best advantage. They really need field position to get back into this match.
Well, remember the playoff match in 2007. I know that the boot was on the foot then, but this fixture gave us the greatest comeback in Super League history when Wigan came up to snatch the match 31-30 against the Bradford Bulls. Can Bradford fashion something here? This is a chance. This is play on. Oh, now it's all over the place. I think it might be a penalty here to Wigan because there's a Bradford man who was stood in front of the ball and therefore is offside. Nothing wrong with that.
No,
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, Kearney got a boot to it. And then Sykes, well, did it come off Richards or did it come off Kearney?
It came off Kearney and Sykes picked it up, hence the penalty.
Well, this is one thing they didn't want. I mean, you could see from the body language at half-time in the dressing room, Steve McNamara was furious. Could be right to be as well. They missed 8 tackles against Wigan's 1.
Here's Fielden for Wigan. There is Steve McNamara. Sent his men out. No doubt their ears ringing in this second 40. Amos Roberts goes down on the 3rd tackle. This set of 6 for Wigan. That's Sean O'Loughlin. They go right with Luluai. Not the best pass from Luluai. Just went into the side, I think, of was it Martin Gleeson? Not the best pass.
I think Gleeson was tackled before the ball hit him almost.
Glenn Hall will drive it forward.
Well, it's pretty hard. I mean, Nero wouldn't have known that the ball had gone to ground. He'd committed himself.
The champions look like they're getting back on the horse against Harlequins, leading 20 points to 4. 5 minutes of the second half gone.
Now,
Godwin.
will they kick away? And they'll have to kick it now. That's good defence, but will they kick away to... in the first half, they were just trying it straight down the throat of Amos Roberts.
3 men lying deep for Wigan. That's a decent enough kick.
Bit too strong.
It just skips away.
At least he found terra firma. Not right down the throat of Roberts, who, I must say, is in scintillating form. So's this guy.
Right, let's go down to Bill on the halfway.
Eddie, really, Steve McNamara, the picture said it all, really let rip in that dressing room, and very disappointed with the approach from his side, and the fact that they were just, to use the old overused word, out-enthused by the opposition, real flat as a pancake in the first half from the Bulls side, and certainly expecting them to be fired up in this second 40 minutes for Wigan Warriors. The news of George Carman is that not only did he gash his knee in that tackle in the corner, he also picked up a groin strain, so a pretty innocuous looking incident has left him with double injury problems, and they're very unlikely, while he could come back at a push, they're very unlikely to put him back on, especially if the game continues to go the way for them as it is at the moment.
It's a case of deja vu here for Bradford, because as they fine touch Wigan with this kick, just the right side of the corner flag, in their first home game of the season, round 2 on Valentine's Day against St Helens, they were 20-0 down at half-time that day, and Saints went on and won the match by 38 points to 6. After that, they've beaten Castleford, they've beaten Salford, and I think that Steve McNamara must have thought that the horror days were behind him. Well, they've not enjoyed the opening 45 minutes here so far tonight.
Simple fact already, if they don't have possession, you can't win a game of rugby league. They've lacked possession, they've lacked field position, and that was mainly due to the fact that they did struggle against that strong wind, but as of yet, they've only utilised it once in the second half.
They're on halfway here. Oh, that's a good ball to Craig Kopczak, and an even better ball to Godwin, and here is Carney, and Bradford get the first score of the second half. That's an excellent move from Bradford. Steadily improving as the season progresses, this guy. 2 tries against Castleford here 2 weeks ago, the former Cronulla man, and he has got over the whitewash tonight, and he has at least given Bradford some hope for what's to come in the next 35 minutes or so.
And it's a fine try as well. Back on the inside to Hall, and good support by Godwin, as every hooker should do. He's got the pace as this fella, Brett Carney, but it's the inside pass there from Orford. Hall came at it nice, kept their cool, panicked a little bit in the first stanza, but not on that occasion.
Brett Carney, 26 years of age, 3rd try of the season, and that could be a very timely try from him.
You know, this is an interesting kick here for Matt Orford. He missed an almost identical kick last week at Salford. Might be just a little nervous as he lines up with this one.
A much tighter match last week than this so far. And he has obviously been practicing this week. It's 6 points to Bradford, but 20 to Wigan.
Super play. Matt Alford, you can see, he sucks in 3 would-be defenders. Hall gets through, and like all good hookers, they channel down the middle, and Kearney is there through. He's a good support player, and he has the pace.
So the converted try gets Bradford in the hunt. A high hanging kickoff. Halley misread it. The wind fooled him then. This is Glenn Hall who picks up the pieces for Bradford.
Well, he must have just lost it in the lights.
Well, I think Leeds have beaten Harlequins tonight, but maybe this one is suddenly swinging Bradford's way. The wind is at their backs.
Well, they made sure they got the ball over the whitewash on this occasion. It was a silly error in that first half that certainly didn't lift their spirits. And for once tonight, the home crowd are cheering.
Godwin. Yes, suddenly the Bradford supporters have found their voice, you're right. And that's Orford, and here is Warrency.
A lot more urgency as well in the Bradford play. Trying to get on with it. Wayne Godwin adds a lot of sparkle, doesn't he, at the dummy half position.
Kopjak, the Welsh international, plays the ball. Here is the try scorer, Kearney. That's the last tackle. Quick play the ball. Orford comes back this way. Orford! Try for Orford! Or is it? Referee having a very close look, and he gives the try. 2 in 2 minutes for Bradford. The Bulls are back. Kearney and Orford. The 2 men that Steve McNamara will be looking to throughout this campaign to spark the Bradford Bulls into the top 8 at least. Deacon comes on for Wigan as Bradford get back to within 10 points of the Wigan Warriors, and Orford's kick to come. The revival is gathering pace.
Wonderful play by the former Manly Warringah star. And look at the speed of the mark. He looks as though he's just going to pass, and then his off goes underneath. That's a great try. Good position by Phil Bentham. Knew he had to go low. No doubt whatsoever. Can he add the extras?
Well, this to get Bradford back to within 8 points of the Wigan Warriors. And it just about scraped in inside the post, didn't it? 20 points to 12 though. Bradford 2 quick tries started the second half, just what the doctor ordered.
Super stuff. It looked as though he was going to farm it out to the left-hand side. You could see that the Wigan defence had just slid across a bit slow. Great play.
Well, an 8 or a 10-point wind we talked about.
It's a red all square, isn't it? And that was a brave move from Matt Alford. It was the last tackle. The temptation is to pass or kick the ball wide to his left. But he had the confidence then to take on the defensive line, which is what all coaches want the half-backs to do from time to time. Even better if you can come up with 6 points.
Well, it's a different game than it was 10 minutes ago, fellas. And Deacon has come on to the action, as we said.
And ladies and gentlemen, a substitution for the Wigan Warriors. Number 19, Paul Deacon.
Okay, it's a great reception, Paul Deacon as well, from the Bradford crowd when his name was announced then by the PA announcer. And so they should. He was a fantastic servant to this club.
Well, it's a different outfit, isn't it? The Bulls, second half, they're confident, trying things.
Crooks with a good kick down the line. Roberts, though, patiently waited for it. Crooks following up, gets the tackle in. Here goes Joel Tompkins.
Brian, there are times when, as a coach, you've really got to give it to your players at half-time, isn't it?
Not too often. I think Steve was disappointed about the things that were in their control, like not finding touch, like a few errors on play 1 or 2. Cure that, get a fair share of possession, and we might just see Bradford be just as human, or Wigan be just as human as the Bradford team.
Real battle going on at the Willows. 14-12 now to the Catalan Dragons. And Hull have hit the front against the Castleford Tigers, 18 points to 12 at the KC Stadium. Leeds winning against Harlequins as well. Well, that's accidental offside off the head of Sean O'Loughlin from the kick by Deacon. The referee orders the turnover.
He just couldn't duck quick enough, could he? Sean O'Loughlin. He was saying to himself, what on earth's that coming at me? Well, they've got to steady the ship a little bit now. The Warriors have, as I say, they only missed one tackle in that first 40.
Well, they're being challenged, aren't they? Which is good. Godwin from dummy half for the Bradford Bulls finds Orford. He in turn finds Warrency. Godwin there again. Here's Langley, and it's Carney. Ball has gone to ground, but backwards. That was Nero who retained possession for his club. Godwin again. Up goes the kick off the boot of Orford. Oh, and Carney's hunting this. That's very well claimed. Oh, well claimed, it isn't.
Well, was it offside, Tompkins? Either way, it's going to be head and feed to the home side, and listen to this crowd go absolutely berserk. Did everything right. First mistake from the fullback Amos Roberts. Up until that point, he's having a superb match. But that's what you got to do.
A few jitters for Wigan. 20-0 up at half-time. The Bradford fans at last with something to shout about in this second half. Here is Halley. Deacon was after him. That's a good ball to Nero. And Bradford very much on the front foot here with Godwin.
Orford's the key.
He's directing the operations. Here is Orford. Gets the pass away to Paul Sykes. Oh, Sykes throws it in front of Jason Crooks. That's a chance gone begging.
Well, was it just a case of lack of communication here? Sykes really didn't have a little glance to see whether the youngster Jason Crooks was going to stay outside him. And I think you'll see that Crooks had decided to, I'm going inside. Oh, can't believe it. Matt Orford cannot believe it that they've thrown away a golden opportunity.
It was a great opportunity, wasn't it? Wigan, though, now will have to try and work the ball away from their own end of the field with Pat Richards. Bradford re-energised by this start they've made to the second half. They've had a better shake of the bag away from home over the past year or so. They had 7 wins away compared to just 4 at home in 2009. Although if you stretch it back to last year, they've won 3 of the last 4 matches at home. This is Luluai for Wigan. Last tackle. Tompkins with a big deep kick downfield. Underneath it is Halley. And he gives it to Lestrange.
Well, he had plenty of time there, Sam Tompkins. Well, he misguided, just wasn't done to it.
Hull 30-12 against Castleford. They've really got going in the second half, Hull, but it looks like it's been a real struggle against the Castleford Tigers. Well, Leeds, I think, have got that game well and truly won. I think I read somewhere that Harlequins had about 7 or 8 first teamers out prior to that match at the Champions tonight.
Yeah, they're struggling. They're pretty low on numbers. And
up goes the kick from Orford. Roberts this time pouches it cleanly. Menzies following up, brings him down.
Not bad for the 36-year-old, is it? Boy, he gives his heart and soul to any club. Revitalised. That'll be the word that we're running through the mind of Steve McNamara. He'll be pleased with this. They're a lot more aggressive. There he is.
Well, there's too many good players out there for Bradford for them to be 20-0 down at half-time. I mean, maybe that was the core of the Steve McNamara message that he gave at the break.
Well, he should have to look at the fact that they didn't get many opportunities. You know, Wigan were just controlling the game, not anymore. And that's not going to be a good kick unless it bounces, and it does.
It's claimed by Jason Crooks. This is Orford, and now Sykes trying to go round Pat Richards.
Wigan have got to be very careful that they don't give away a penalty.
I think Sam Tompkins got the ball here. Well, it's a knock-on, I think, against Bradford. It is.
Yeah. I think you'll find that Sykes lost it, and then
Halley lost it under pressure from Tompkins.
This is how the ball squirts out. Joel Tompkins was going into the tackle.
I think he knocked it out, and I think this is the knock-on that we're going to see here. Or is it then? If that's the case, it could actually be maybe head and feet to Bradford.
Could have gone either way, couldn't it?
Luluai at dummy half now for Wigan. Gives it to Bailey.
Wigan will go back to basics. They realise they've just got to get field position themselves, and this is where the kick into the corner. They'll have to keep it low. They're going facing into a very strong wind.
Eamon O'Carroll plays the ball to Thomas Luluai. Gives it to Sam Tompkins. Here's Hansen again. Luluai once again. Short side with Joel Tompkins. Gets the ball away to Roberts. Desperate defence from Bradford. Here comes the last tackle for Wigan. Luluai gives it to Joel Tompkins. Oh, and he flicks the ball back into... That's off the Bradford man. Oh, it's the turnover, he says.
Well, it's all over the place, isn't it? Came off Menzies' shins.
Lynch for the Bradford Bulls.
Well, still plenty of time for the Bulls to get into a pretty good position. Remember, there was a period of play where Bradford were just trying to score on every single play. A lot more method to the game now.
Here's Warrensey again. Can't. Menzies. And Sykes. Wrestled to the ground by Tompkins, and he somehow stayed in the field of play. I think, was it Menzies kept him in the field, or was it Crooks?
I think it was Crooks that helped them out. That's a good kick. Try to force the error. Watch Crooks here. No, you're not. He just gets it through. Then they try to get his head down, and he did very well. Good work by Paul Sykes and by the winger there, Jason Crooks. Well, Wigan in no hurry to form that.
Keep listening. Hold there, Bradford.
So, Wigan with the scrum 10 metres away from their own line. Richards for the league leaders, clinging on to their 100% home and away record. Catalan Dragons are leading 2012 against the Salford City Reds. This is now Andy Coley.
Again, pretty good defence. They've got to make sure that Wigan are deep.
Oh, that was forward. That was a forward pass.
Well, surely, what's a touch you're doing in this end? I mean,
we looked at it from this angle up here.
Yep.
Deacon trying to get through the Bradford defence, gets Wigan to halfway. Luluai, Tompkins, kick on the last. That's going to stay in the in-goal area. Oh, Crooks has got work to do. Does it well. Does it well, the teenager. Under a real examination in the first half, he was. Bradford fans screaming for offside. Lestrange is the dummy half for Bradford. This is Lynch.
5, move!
Lestrange again, last tackle for Bradford, 10 metres inside his own half. Tries to angle the kick over the head of Richards. Just snakes out those long arms of his, pulls it down, Pat Richards. Only 8 points the difference between these two sides. Another try for Bradford here, and well, the fat would be in the fire. Roberts waits for Wigan. Goes in field to O'Loughlin.
Goes on to replace number 10, Andy Coley.
Stand up! Third, go!
Luluai. Deacon to Gleeson, back to Deacon. Scoots away from his former teammates.
But he's got the experience, hasn't he, Paul Deacon, to know when to just slow things down. Make sure that Wigan get back into the swing of things. They've just been off the boil for a moment, mainly due to the uplifting energy from the Bulls' defence.
Deacon hoists a high kick out towards the left touchline. Richards is after it. Play on, says the referee. It's going to be a goal line dropout here. No, it isn't, is it?
Yep.
It is a goal line dropout, yes. He says Pat Richards passed this ball backwards.
And again, it's been a difficult night, hasn't it, for the winger Jason Crooks. Peppered him in the first half, and they've gone back to the same system. Just a freak sometimes, isn't he, Pat Richards?
He threw the ball here backwards, and it came
off his leg.
Off his own leg. Still all right, though. It's not a knock-on, is it?
No.
Crowd are going potty at the referee, but he's got it right.
I think the Tompkins boys have been taught to play to the whistle, haven't they, in their backyard? Whenever the mum or dad was refereeing, you don't stop till it's over. Just worryingly for the other sides in Super League, there is a third Tompkins brother as well who's still at Wigan in the scholarship scheme, so there might be a time in the not too distant future when we see all three brothers out there.
Deacon was underneath the dropout, and here comes Eamon O'Carroll. And I'm reminded, Phil, that we could actually have an England team in the future of Burgess boys and Tompkins boys. Well, close.
That'll be half the side anyway. We've only got the other 6 to pick.
O'Loughlin.
Third. Move. Hold. Go.
Luluai dummy half for Wigan. That's a good hit on Deacon.
Move. Both feet, lads. Go. 4.
Orford did well then. The man he replaced here at Bradford. Tompkins, though, up the middle for Wigan.
Move.
Last one.
And hold.
Scruton on the deck. Luluai. And it's Joel Tompkins, and he passes the ball behind Pat Richards. But he's claiming that it was touched in flight by a Bradford man.
Well, I'm amazed that Joel Tompkins didn't go on his own, and it is. Maybe Tompkins, with his weight, could have got through there. There's the gap. I reckon if Joel Tompkins had pinned back the ears and dived into it, it just touches the finger, doesn't it? And it is. Just touched it. Well spotted by the man with the flag on this side.
Well, can Wigan take advantage of that? This is Roberts. Bradford delaying the play of the ball, just letting their defence line up. Here comes Paliasina.
2. Move. Goal line. 2.
Luluai. Ball's free to knock on by Thomas Luluai. The chance is gone. Bradford survived. They're still very much in this game.
Certainly are. Idea was good, but he lost possession. Good work by Halley. Had it under control. Just got squeezed out. Well, the minutes are ticking away. They can't hang around too much, Bradford. They realise they've got to try to get back in, making a few clean breaks. Wigan will be desperate to try to keep them down in their own quarter.
Here comes Langley for Bradford. Good hands. Reardon. just pulled down. Important tackle that was by Bailey. This is Orford again. It's Elliot Whitehead. 10 metres inside the Wigan half. Lynch looking to offload and does. Oh, but Wigan have it back.
Great work from Bailey. You've got to be alert in this game.
Hold, go.
And you could see it just squeeze out. Got to it.
Here goes Palliasina.
Good run. Now they can try to get a quick play of the ball.
It's all right. Get square, Steve, come on. Third. Move. Go.
Joel Tompkins plays the ball. Sam Tompkins takes over. Stuttering run, but halted on halfway. Tackle number 4.
And hold.
Well, Orford did not get out of the way.
He's claiming that his arm was trapped. You can see he's done the turtle anyway. I think he was trying to kid the referee, Phil Bentham.
Richards deposits the penalty into touch. Last July's 20-14 win here by Wigan marked the end of a sequence of 6 straight defeats in the weekly rounds on this ground for them. They did interrupt that win with the playoff win in 2007, of course, but in weekly rounds not been the happiest of hunting grounds for them. They're hanging on to their 20-12 situation here, although they are on the attack at the moment with Tompkins. And here is O'Loughlin. He's running strong as always, but halted. Sykes with the tackle. Palliasina looking for a chink in the defence. Luluai goes in centre field to Sam Tompkins. And this is Paul Deacon.
Surrender! Stand up!
Surely the lot for the kick, trying to get the second set of 6.
Go, come on, Jamie.
It comes to Sam Tompkins. He just drifts it over the top. Richards was there, but it was claimed by Paul Sykes. It's a restart on the 20. This is Orford.
I must say it was good work by Paul Sykes. He realises that the youngster Crooks has been peppered by those kicks into it and got back there. A little bit of confidence and helped him out.
Langley.
Big question is, can the Bulls stretch and get the gap out wide against this very strong Wigan defence?
Well, they're coming up the middle at the moment with Nero.
Move! Wait! Go!
Well, it's a bit of a humiliation, sadly, for Harlequins at Headingley. Menzies stabs the kick in.
Was it taken out? I think he was.
And was Crooks taken out? The touch judge is on.
Yeah, Menzies was taken out after he took the kick. This should be a penalty to Bradford.
Two of us will sort it out.
The ring has gone right. Richards has stepped to the side to block him.
Okay. Wait, Pat. I'll deal with it. Yeah, you can turn, but you've got to go in the direction of the ball. Okay.
Well, Hansen had committed himself.
I think it was the incident involving Crooks by Richards. Wasn't anything to do with that, it was there.
Yeah, Richards is taking Crooks out. Tried to block him off. I thought it was Menzies that had been taken out. But as I said, Hansen had already committed himself.
Well, here's a real chance for Bradford.
They've got to utilise the dummy runners as well. Just one out into this defence will not do them.
Here goes Lynch.
Remember, it was a switch of play that created the break for Carney to score. Start the revival.
Lestrange to Carney. Here is Langley. Hauled down by Harrison Hansen. Lestrange and Carney sees a gap and goes for it. It was closed by Bailey and Luluai. Lestrange again gives it to Andy Lynch. Lynch trying to back his way. Leg is lifted by Fielding, it's held. Anxious eyes for Steve McNamara. Last tackle here. Orford back on the inside. It's Sykes, skips out of 1 and 2, can't get the ball away. They went for broke.
Power play did not come off. We're calling for the inside pass, but full credit to the Warriors' defence. Came on the angle to the full-back, Dave Halley.
You know what was fascinating there, Eddie, was why Bradford never actually went towards that Paul Deakin side of the field out wide. 3 defenders in on the right for Wigan. You know, he's possibly the weakest link in Wigan's defensive line at that time on the try line. He's the smallest man they've got. Some of the Bradford players may have been able to power over him. And with 3 plays, they refused to go to him even on one option.
Last 10 minutes of the match, 8 points the gap. Wigan hanging on, have been examined by Bradford in this second half, which will please Steve McNamara better than the first 40, I'm sure of that, but nothing short of a victory will satisfy him the most. Last tackle here, good set here for Bradford. And Tompkins was under pressure then from Lestrange.
Legally, as far as I could see.
This is Jason Crooks, good strength from the youngster.
He was committed.
Now it's Whitehead for Bradford.
They've got to find that spark though, the Bulls. Maybe the chip over the top, just something a little bit different.
Langley, good run from Langley, great run from Langley. Not much support there though.
That was a problem. He was spinning in the tackle. They should have been right close to him.
This is Glenn Hall who'll drive it in. Tackle number 4 is completed for Bradford. They're 10 metres away. It's with Lestrange. Cut out pass and finds Orford. Orford! Great try! Second one for Matt Orford. Bradford suddenly have the sniff of something. So does Steve McNamara. And Matt Orford. Well, I said at the start of tonight's programme, he is coming to terms with life in the Super League. 2 tries here tonight. Impressive against Salford last week as well in the victory. And has that try just swung the balance of power very much the Bulls' way.
And it's an amazing stat to think that this man is more noted for being the creator, not the scorer. And yet, he has taken on this Wigan defence twice. Langley, superb run. That's what set it up. And then he said, I'll take you on again. Try number 2, throws the dummy. Back in the game. Tension mounts.
Well, Orford's try. And Orford, 2 from 2. This is a massive kick. 8 degrees, the target angle. Now that he missed one at Salford last week. Ooh, and he's missed another one here tonight, but it's still a try and a conversion. And Bradford win it. Wigan hanging on. Great finish, Brian.
Absolutely fantastic finish. Seen the process that Bradford have gone through. They've created themselves a field position by looking after the ball. They look enthusiastic. They've troubled Wigan around the middle. They've got a huge chance here.
Yes, massive chance. They're going to get the ball back from the kick-off, of course. They have just shy of 7 minutes. 4 points the difference. Where's your money, Steve-O?
Oh, I'm as nervous as those players out there. They realise, to Wigan, that they've got to get good position. That's why they're digging it deep. They've got to get their defence. It just seems to have fallen off. I mean, when you look at a half-time score, 20-0, just amazing what the turnaround from the Bradford Bulls. Obviously, the stern lecture from Steve McNamara helped, but, you know, the 2 half-backs, which you never saw combine in the first half, Carney and Orford. And Orford taking them on, asking the questions.
Bradford coming home with a wet sail here, and with the wind at their backs. Oh, Catalan Dragons look like they're carrying on the agony for the Salford City Reds. 11 to go, they lead by 12 points. Here, 6 minutes remain, and it's 4 points the difference. Orford, that's a measured kick to the corner. It bounces nicely though for Amos Roberts. Now then, they'll hunt the mistake here from Wigan if they can. Orford directing the traffic behind them all. Drive forward by Daryl Goulding.
The new coach, Michael Maguire, now will find out whether they can dig deep. It's one thing holding a commanding lead and saying that everything is A-OK. Now, can they shut up the shop. Can they make it? Control it. Good kick and chase.
Well, they dug deep a fortnight ago at Warrington, didn't they, to come from behind themselves and win the match.
Yep.
Now it's a question of whether they can hang on in defence. Remember, it's the best attack, Wigan, and the best defence in Super League coming into round 5. But Bradford have found a way through them. And Deacon's kick will find Jason Crooks. And the chase from Wigan on that occasion was just a little laboured, perhaps. Bit of a worry for Michael Maguire, the man in the centre there of the screen. Well, here is Reardon for Bradford.
He'll be safety first and make sure that that defence is solid. Work as a unit. All it takes is for one just to fall off. We saw that with that wonderful run from the big fella Jamie Langley. And that's what Bradford need. Someone like that, just to break down that defence, get them on the back foot. Here he is again, working hard.
Yes, Langley has had a tremendous season. He topped the tackle count against Salford, 42, and he also made the most metres forward. But it's Matt Orford, the Director General. This is Halley.
He's trying to mimic the way that Brett Hodgson plays as fullback for Huddersfield Giants, the best player in this competition last year, trying to get himself close to the ball whenever he can. Chip over by Orford.
But Amos Roberts read that well.
Yeah, he's in fine form, isn't he, Roberts? Well, was it completed? Yes, said the referee.
No way through for Gleeson. That's 2 tackles gone.
Now, the last 3 kicks from Wigan have been very poor indeed. They've got to try to get over the opposition half.
Joel Tompkins.
4. Move. Wait. Go 4.
It's Riddell who gives it to Coley.
5.
That's the last
Move.
for Wigan. They're only on halfway,
Go,
so the kick will be absolutely
Outside.
priceless here.
Clear.
And Tompkins has hit that one dead in goal, so Bradford will come from the 20-metre line.
Well, would have been a better option perhaps to dig it over the whitewash, get the scrum down. Bradford would have had to rush back, set the scrum to stop the clock. But it's getting to that point now where Bradford realise it's they've got to try something different. They've just got to test their arm.
Move. Hold, lads, hold. Go. 2.
This is Nero for Bradford. That's 3 tackles gone. They're still shy of halfway. Lestrange, Glenn Hall, Orford, and this is Kopjak. Wigan smothering the man in possession.
Not only that, Eddie, they're trying the technique of being able to hold them down.
Carney.
They're getting there in numbers, but just spin him. Don't let him get that quick play of the ball. Did he drop that then, Carney?
Looked like it. Up it goes off the boot of Sykes. Spiralling around. Roberts safe as houses and away from Halley. They did this. Oh, he's dropped it. Chance for Bradford. Here's Reardon.
If he'd have got that straight away, Reardon could have squeezed in at the corner.
Just couldn't get it out there quick enough, could they? Here's Dave Halley. Bradford fans. Ball's gone backwards.
That's gone backwards, yeah. They're going berserk here. The home fans. It looked all over at half-time.
Can Bradford snatch this? It's Hall! They can! Hall over under the sticks! What a turnaround! It's like 2007 all over again. Only this time, the boot is on the other foot. Steve McNamara suffered the agony in the playoffs of 3 years ago. But now, Glenn Hall's try. And by the way, it's his first for the Bradford Bulls. The try under the sticks, the kick from Matt Orford, and it looks like Bradford are going to pick Wigan's pockets this time.
They cannot believe it. It all came about by the mistake from Amos Roberts. He's had a fine game, but this was the moment where Bradford realised they tried to get the ball out wide. It didn't bobble around for Reardon, and then Hall, he just crashes over. They are going mad on the stands here and on the terracing, and what a time for the big fella. Oh, look at them celebrate. They know the seconds are ticking away. Can Matt Orford win it for the Bulls?
Well, this kick from bang in front to make it 22-20 to Bradford. 22-20 to Bradford it is. Orford 2 tries, Orford 4 goals, and it is the ultimate game of 2 halves, this. The kick-off to come, Bradford ought to be wary because Wigan goes short, but Bradford come up with the possession, Bradford come up with the victory, and Salford are beaten. The only 100% record in the Engage Super League goes west. That's it! What a win for Bradford! What a second half for Bradford! And Wigan cannot believe what's happened. They led 20-0 at the break. Bradford came back with 4 tries of their own in the second half, and Orford kicked 3 goals, as opposed to Richards kicking 2 in the first half. The hero of 38 points last week outshone here at Odsal. Dismal faces on the Wigan terraces and in the Wigan jerseys. What a game, Phil, that win! It's a 22-point win.